Hi there, everyone. I am Dr. Andrew Wallace, and I am the author of a new article just published in City called The Returned: Experiences of Unhoming on a Regenerating London Housing Estate. In this brief video abstract, I would like to just give you a flavour of the article and what I think it contributes to current debates. The context for the article is the ongoing crisis in affordable housing provision. And within that, the dismantling of post-war public housing projects that we see across much of the global north, including in London, where this article takes place. In London, we've seen estate regeneration accelerate over the last decade with the loss of social rental housing. Much displacement research tends to focus on kind of physical forced relocation from communities and neighbourhoods. Less well researched to date is the experience of return. So what tends to happen is when a council housing estate, a public housing estate is demolished, it is replaced by a kind of mixed tenure estate, and there's a small proportion of the social rental tenants are able to move between estates. In other words, not leave their neighbourhood, but see their kind of their immediate housing environment completely transform. So we need a kind of, I think, a nuanced understanding of unhoming to understand this experience. And this article was based on several months of research with tenants on a new build estate in Lewisham in southeast London, with a focus particularly on a dozen older people, so over the age of 60, who moved from the council housing estate onto the new build estate, and really telling the story of that process through their eyes. And the key findings of the paper are that whereas the private sector tenants and residents of this new estate are able to really go about their life in a fairly oblivious state in terms of the housing environment, actually the social housing tenants are at the forefront of confronting some of the failures of the new estate, of addressing some of the social tensions of the new estate. These are the people who have got a long history of living in this area, who were sold a bit of a dream from the developers in terms of what the regeneration would provide, and whose kind of delicate local kind of social environment has been disrupted, and so they have to react and repair and recover. And so the article, within the broad experience of housing dispossession and displacement, argues for a focus on this growing experience of return. As more estates are regenerated, we're going to see more people go through this process. And it makes the point at the end that whilst we should be absolutely supporting the rights of social housing tenants to return and to the new build estates that replace their estates, the challenge doesn't end there, because there's a huge number of challenges for people who undergo this process. So I hope the article is of use to colleagues and of interest. And if anyone has got any feedback, do get in touch.